guys, welcome to a new episode of Game On. My name is Barry.
My name is Hunter.
And I'm Allison.
So, first thing we're going to talk about today is video game delays. How exciting.
Oh boy.
Another game
Fun.
has been delayed.
What is it this time, Barry?
Gravity Rush.
Gravity
Rush. Gravity Rush 2, sorry.
Really?
I feel like a lot of people don't know about Gravity Rush. I only know about it because it was free on PlayStation Vita. I never finished it though, but what I played I liked. What did you played it, right, Allison?
I did. I played most of the first one. I got through to the end.
Mm-hmm.
It was a really exciting game. It was such a great game.
Tell us a little bit what it's about.
Well, it's about a main character named Kat, and she actually gains a cat who gives her the power to defy gravity. So that's what the basis of the game is around. She also finds like an enemy who she ends up being the rival. Her name is Raven. And they kind of go back and forth, and they try to team up together to actually rescue someone. Mm-hmm. And I'm pretty sure that all the characters are coming back in the new game. And I don't know what else they're going with that, but it's going to be really exciting.
Yeah, I feel like this is really a labor of love, because that came out a long time ago, Gravity Rush.
It did.
It did.
And my thing is, I don't mind games getting delayed, because I want them to be good. I hate when stuff gets rushed out more than anything. I'm still a little salty about The Sims 3 getting delayed for like 2 years when it was originally released. But have any games that you...
Personally, I don't mind delays because I'm floating in the same boat as you. I like when games are actually finished and when they're actually completed. But I personally think that if you're going to make a game, you might as well do what they did with Fallout 4. Because what they did with Fallout 4 is they basically announced Fallout 4 like 4 months before it actually came out, and then there was all the excitement that came in, and there wasn't too much hype that was developed over the course of like 2 years, 3 years, like a normal development cycle of a game.
Yeah, Fallout 4 is a really well-received game too. I didn't really realize they announced it so soon.
Yeah, they announced it like the E3 before. It came out like in September or October. I don't remember.
Yeah, I think it was the first week of.
But they announced it at like E3 before the game came out. So
I remember the hype, and I remember like as soon as like they announced Fallout 4, and they were like, "Oh yeah, here's this mobile game called Fallout Shelter, and it's available right now."
Yeah.
I went right to the App Store and downloaded it on my phone. And was like, "This is the best thing ever," and then I played it for like a month, just like straight, nothing else.
I remember going, Fallout 4, how cool! I've never played Fallout before. I know I'm wrong.
You need to.
I heard it's really good.
It is fantastic. I love Fallout 4 and all the DLCs.
I know the soundtrack for that's really cool.
It is.
all like the old 20s music. It's fun.
That's why I love BioShock. Like I love all the music from BioShock. I'd actually love if BioShock were a movie. Like I think BioShock is such a cool storyline and Rapture.
That's another good story to be a movie. I think that BioShock 1 and 2 might make a good like trilogy maybe,
or even just like
fantastic.
I don't know what they would do, but I would love to see Rapture on the big screen, because they're actually bringing Gears to. There's a Gears movie coming out.
That.
Yes, I played Gears of War, but I was never like Gears.
You weren't a Gear
Everybody's got to hop aboard the Coal train.
Choo-choo.
But I know that's coming out. We talked about Assassin's Creed last week. Do you think that video game movies might become a thing, or are we just like hoping these are going to be good and they're going to be like Prince of Persia?
I would love for it to become a thing, but knowing the current stigma behind video game movies, it might be a little bit tough to pull them off.
They had like the Super Mario movie or something was like, I think it's like on Netflix right now, and I'm like,
it's not worth it.
Yeah.
It's not worth it. It's so bad. But I think that video game movies are definitely going to be a thing because video games are now in mainstream media. So they're trying to adapt and appeal to this audience. But we can hope they're going to do it right because, you know, even with like book to film adaptations, there's always some like battle between the people who like the books and people who like the films better. So I feel like it's going to be the same with the games because they're going to be changing the storylines.
It's something that can also counteract with the comic books because before comic book movies were also very off-end and bad, depending what you look at. Like the Superman movies were like okay, or decent. If you look at Green Lantern, I feel bad for Ryan Reynolds that they made him do that movie, but
he made up for it.
He made up for it.
In Deadpool.
Deadpool
is so good.
But now, like comic book movies are the mainstream, so I feel like video game movies can do the same thing if we give them a shot. Like something that I really want to see is Uncharted.
Yes.
Uncharted is a really good game series that has a very good developing story with all its cast members, and I think it would make a great story for a movie.
I want Matt Boomer from White Collar to be Nathan Drake. I think that's perfect casting. You're welcome. Whichever studio is going to be doing that.
Did you guys see the Warcraft movie?
I don't play World of Warcraft, but
it's got such a good story. They really kind of.
You don't play World of Warcraft, but yet you play League.
They're very different.
I don't know.
Come on, Hunter.
I'm also very poor.
I play PlayStation. MOBA's not my thing.
MOBAs.
Hence the shirt.
MOBAs are life.
Stole my life.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat.
With Uncharted and stuff, like I remember playing that game, and I made my mom come down into my basement and like play. She was like trying to shoot the ceiling and stuff. It was interesting, but that game plays like a movie. And what I like about video games, it's like you really get immersed in it. And I wonder if Rapture is going to feel the same way, or any of these worlds are going to feel the same way if you're not playing those characters and living it. So it's I don't know. It's like
yeah, BioShock would be definitely be a weird one because it is that first-person perspective that you play in the game. Whereas I think something like Uncharted or The Last of Us would make a good connection because you have those third-person perspectives and they try to make the camera angles and the view of the character what's relevant.
Yeah, much more story-driven.
See, what I would really like to see is if we're going with the BioShock series, I would love to see Infinite. Like, I could just imagine what computer graphics could do in the movies for that game.
Oh my gosh, the
you can even do it from like Elizabeth's point of view, and
that would be great. I love Elizabeth.
I'm already like fangirling over it. And it's just a concept.
All the green screen in that movie.
And then what was it? Uncharted. Wow, I forgot. What other movie? I had another video game movie I was gonna say. Oh, do you know there was a Metroid movie? Announced in like 2005 that never got made.
I feel like I remember this, but it didn't really appeal to me, so I was kind of like, and I brushed it off.
It's okay. Probably got turned into Metroid Other M, and we all know how that happened. All right, guys. When we come back, we're going to talk about some of the games that we've been playing. We'll see you right after this commercial break. Hey guys, welcome back to Game On. I'm just here to make fun of you.
Are you trying to break me?
Yeah, I'm trying to make all of you miserable.
You're just trying to make me look like a bad person because of the last segment, right?
No, I don't
because
know what you're talking about.
I just went like that.
Yeah. What have you guys been playing this week?
This
Overwatch.
week.
Too much.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Too much Overwatch. I'm just gonna leave it there.
It's never too much Overwatch.
I watched my friend play Overwatch. I've never played Overwatch before.
Did you watch over him playing Overwatch?
I watched over his shoulder as he played Overwatch. And
it's perfect.
I really like the character designs from that game.
That is honestly what keeps me in that game because I don't like a lot of games where it's just like, oh, shoot this person. Oh, look, they're dead. How exciting. But when there's variation in the characters and there's different things to do and like there's different healer classes and everybody does something different, it's more appealing.
Yeah. So Hunter is our resident non-MOBA player.
I don't know any. I've heard of Overwatch, but I don't know anything about it. Like, I know some of the characters like Tracer and Roadhog, but like I don't know too much about how the game is played, anything like that.
Well, it's really different from like a lot of other like MOBAs that are out there right now. It's really cool. It's first person. It plays like a first person shooter kind of, right?
Yeah, but there's different ways to play each character,
Yeah,
and there's an objective on every map. You're either on attack or defense, and you either have to capture a point or move a payload, or sometimes even both, because there's hybrid maps where you have to capture the point and then move the payload from the point to your destination.
All right. Is it because like that's really challenging too? Like with League, it's really just one map and like gauging the situation that way. But now you have to know different strategies for different maps in addition to like the character matchups.
Yeah, and it's definitely a challenge within itself, especially with like coming out with new maps. We just saw the release of like Eichenwald, which is a German type map. It is huge, and there's so many different back alleys and ways to kind of catch people off guard. It's a lot of just. You need to play it, you need to experience it with all the characters that you like to play and get used to it because there's only a couple maps, but you can cycle through them really easily in a day.
Yeah. I remember being like, my friend was like, how can you play a game for this long when there's only one map? And it's not about that, it's about the competitive aspect of it.
Speaking of only one map, I did not like playing Warframe. That felt like the same thing over and over again.
I played Warframe like one time because it was free.
Yeah,
and
I
then
made a character and then I gave up.
I think the same thing with DC Universe Online. It's not a MOBA, but like I just kept making new characters and then playing for like 10 minutes and like, okay, I'm done. I'm gonna go now.
I tend to do that with The Sims too. So like, if there's a MOBA that I don't really like all that much, I'll be like, all right, I just want to make this character. All right, I went through the tutorial. I really didn't pay attention to the tutorial. I don't know how to play this game. All right, bye.
Everything's just a disaster always.
Exactly. That was my whole experience with DC Universe Online.
I actually kind of like that game because it brought me back to my comic book childhood of how I love Green Arrow so much and all the other DC characters like Flash and how much I hate Superman.
You hate Superman?
I do.
Why?
So much overpowered.
Oh, okay.
That I can agree with.
I'm really excited for the Wonder Woman movie. Not that we're talking about that right now. I'm just excited
anyway,
about
that's
it.
what we've been playing.
Yeah.
I've actually been playing a little bit. I went back and played a little bit of Fallout 4.
Okay.
As well as a little-known game called Journey.
Oh yeah, Journey.
Journey was actually very fun. It was a free game last month, but it came out quite a little while ago.
2013, 2012?
Something like that. It was a very good game. It was very interesting because it's non-vocal, from what I remember of the little bit that I played. And it's non-vocal, and you're just playing this character going through a desert that's trying to find his path.
Yeah.
And it's very interesting because the controls are very simple. Like, you have tilt controls for the camera, which the six axis for your controller, and it's very simple to play. It's very easy to grab onto.
I actually used just like traditional camera controls when I did it because you can do it both ways. I really liked Journey. It was really short, but it's about the journey, and it's a really nice experience. Me and my roommates sat down and I just played it one night. I was actually a little frustrated at one point because like there's absolutely no explanation in this game, which I'm fine with.
Yeah.
But like all of a sudden, you just start getting like punished for things. You're like, oh, I have this beautiful scarf that I guess is now ripped.
Yeah.
And I'm mad.
But it's definitely it is a very good game if you're just looking to sit back and just play something relaxing and not worried about like being killed every 5 minutes and just sit back and play something that will just bring you through an adventure like Abzu, if you've ever played Abzu too.
I have not played that one.
Abzu is very similar in that extent.
That company, I think is that company, that game company, is that who makes that? They also did Flower, which I have the demo for, and I just love that. I think that game is so cute and fun and relaxing, and you're literally just like the wind, and you're like picking up petals and exploring the world.
I love those games where it's just about the journey. Like it's all about the gameplay, and it's just about sitting back and just enjoying the scenery of the game.
Yeah.
Though I do personally love more of a first-person adventure game, like learning the story of a game through what's told by the characters and the actions.
I definitely think there's a good space for games like this. My thing that I'm glad is that I didn't buy Journey and I got it free on PlayStation Plus because like I think it released for like $30 or something. It was like kind of expensive. It's not that long of a game.
No.
It is really really nice, but like I think that more casual games like that, I think that they need to be marketed better because like that game is really fun. That's something like anyone can get into.
Yeah,
too.
it's more of an experience game, which it's still very fun to do. It's like I said, it's more of an experience. So you just kind of sit back and relax with it.
I've been not relaxing. I've been playing League again.
Yeah, that's not a very relaxing game.
Again, my experience with MOBAs is like the floor.
Well, they just released a new champion, and it's a character who plays in the jungle, which it's a little hard to explain really quickly, but he's just like this goofy, like tall druid guy. He's like, ooh, my name is Ivern.
A druid and a treant had a baby. It would be Ivern.
It's literally if a druid and treant had a baby, his name would be Ivern. And then they gave him a skin that makes him like he came out of Candyland, and he's like
basically like the king of Candyland, and he's got like crazy like long arms and legs. So it's insane, but he's such a fun character, and I cannot wait to play him.
He literally just like he walks around, he like makes bushes like, oh, you can't see now. And when you buy items, he'll be like, oh, this is that thing that humans get. And
that's so cute.
His character's just really cute and fun. It's the first time I've had a lot of fun with League lately.
Yeah.
But when we come back, we're going to be talking about something very interesting with virtual reality. All right, guys, we'll be right back after this commercial break. Hello and welcome back to Game On. All right, so VR, virtual reality.
We're finally talking about it.
Finally talking about it. It's happening. The future is now.
Actually, the future is Tuesday.
The future is Tuesday.
Because that's when PlayStation VR comes out, I believe.
So, tell us a little about PlayStation VR.
So, PlayStation VR, of course, as the name implies, is PlayStation's VR headset. It's airing or releasing at $399. But when you actually look at the final price of it, if you don't have the PlayStation camera or you don't have the PlayStation Move controllers, which are actually necessary to run the machine properly, it comes in around in the neighborhood of somewhere of $500.
Yeah.
Because
God.
Yeah. I didn't know how expensive VR was until we looked into this today. I always kind of thought VR was the next gimmicky thing.
It's expensive, but from what I've seen and what I know of it, I've actually done a PlayStation experience once where they put on the headset and they let you experience the games. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
It's not a gimmick anymore.
Yeah?
It's not like the Virtual Boy. It's not a gimmick. I think this is the next way to play. I really think it is. Although I personally don't think it is a way to play every day, it is definitely a way to inspire new games to come out.
I know the creators of Until Dawn are doing something for that, and I loved Until Dawn. It's one of my favorite games of last year.
Batman Arkham VR is
really?
another thing too. That's an hour and a half long experience where you basically play as Batman, going through and doing different detective things like you would as Batman.
That's not how his voice is.
You become Batman. you sit on the building and you feel like you're Batman looking down in Gotham.
That's really awesome.
Yeah.
It's kind of scary. I'm afraid of
that.
But there are also a few VR units on the market right now. So the sad thing is PlayStation is actually really one of the cheapest ones.
It is
$500 for the bundle with everything. It's $499. So that comes with the VR unit, which sits on top of your PS4, and it looks really ugly.
Yeah, that little. Don't confuse the headset with the unit. Because the unit itself is a little box, maybe about that big, that when it's really more of a processing unit for the thing. And it does sit on top of your PlayStation awkwardly, like a mini PlayStation 4 original.
There's 1,000 wires plugged in.
Yeah.
Then you have the headset. But so you have to own a PS4 and you have to have the $500 unit. But then you had some experience with another one, Oculus Rift, right?
Yeah, I was able to play the Oculus Rift, I think about 2 years ago at PAX East, because I go to PAX East every year. And even that is a bit expensive. I know the Oculus goes for about $600, and even then you need a good computer to run the programs and be able to use it.
Yeah.
I also know that the Oculus is coming out with their own brand of controllers that are $200, but even then it's still really expensive. Yes, just for the 2 controllers. So they're finally going to be adding, like the PlayStation VR, they're going to have movements for your hands and arms, but it's even more expensive.
It's hard because the technology is so new. Because even when video games were first coming out, they were relatively really expensive. Back when the first consoles were coming out, they were equal to $1,000.
And that's really the same with any innovative technology. When you think about it, Tesla's cars, which are currently coming out now, they're still expensive for what they are because they're innovating the technology. They're putting in auto drive features and everything like that. That's the same with VR nowadays. It's the more expensive unit because it's experimental. It's new.
What any video game world would you like to live in VR, or experience in VR?
Portal.
Portal.
I would love to. Portal 2 is my favorite
Going back to our conversation
game.
before, I would love to experience either BioShock or one
BioShock
of the
would be
BioShock
good, too.
games.
I would get killed, man. Oh, except for hold on, those hypos would be really uncomfortable to actually have to do
One of the PlayStation VR demo games that comes with the console, I believe, actually is a first-person shooter game. And it's interesting how it's controlled because what you do is you're basically using the controller to move yourself over. This is one of those games you actually use the PlayStation controller for. And there's to move from area to area because you're not really moving around that much. To move from area to area, you're kind of jumping from frame to frame, if you think about it like that.
Okay.
So you're kind of moving from one area to another via this auto jump feature that's in it.
Okay.
It's hard to explain. But if I actually had a clip or something of it, I would definitely show it because it would make more sense that way.
And I know they're talking about with VR, the graphics are not at what we're really used to right now. They're definitely not as...
Definitely not in the PlayStation VR headset, because
Yeah.
you can I think if you think about it, it might be equivalent to like 720p
Yeah.
in the headset, because they're using two smaller lenses to project the film into your eyes and make you see what you need to see.
Yeah, I think it's cool, but like I don't feel the need to invest all of this money in something like this.
And I'm not saying you have to, but I'm saying if you really feel like this is technology of the future, this is something you really want to invest yourself in. Whether you spend the $3,000 on the HTC Vive or the $2,000 on the Oculus Rift or the equivalent of $1,000, $1,000 on PlayStation VR, if you really feel like this is the technology that's going to boost everything forward, buy it. Because that's how you prove to the companies that you want this. That's how you prove that this is going to be the future.
That's definitely true, but like at the same time, my Nintendo 3DS is probably one of my favorite systems right now, and it wasn't until my 3DS XL that I was like, oh my gosh, wait, this is really amazing.
Yeah.
And you know, the original 3DS launched at $350. And I'm like, maybe in a couple years when there's some things I really want, I'll probably look into this. I think that's where a lot of people stand, because...
Yeah, I know a few people that are going to be trying to get this PlayStation VR unit as it comes out. But I personally will not be getting it until either the next iteration or it becomes a little bit cheaper, because I really do believe in the technology.
Yeah.
But at the price point that it is, I could also buy another console for the same price.
Yeah.
So
I agree. I think that in the world of VR, I feel like we are going to have a hype for quite a while, and then eventually it'll die down, especially when people see the prices of how much this is. But I think that I think in the future it's going to be more arcade. So like when we see normal arcade games, it's probably just going to be something like that, where like you go to an arcade and that's
you
it.
have a VR headset ready to go.
Yeah.
All right.
it's definitely interesting.
Definitely interesting. All right, guys, thank you for tuning into this episode of Game On. We'll see you guys later. Be sure to game on. Okay, bye.